In example 7, we're solving a rational equation with factor denominators and stating excluded values. We want to solve the rational equation after factoring the denominators. So we have 2 over x plus 1 minus 1 over x minus 1, which is equal to 2x over x squared minus 1. And then we're going to state the excluded values. So the first thing we ask ourselves is the denominator need to be factored further? Well, the first one doesn't, the second one, but x squared minus 1 needs to be factored further. So x squared minus 1 can be factored using difference of squares, which becomes x plus 1 times x plus 1. Before we proceed, we now need to write this original fraction in factored form. So we don't want to leave the x squared minus 1. We're going to write it out in factored form. So now this becomes 2 over x plus 1 minus 1 over x minus 1, which is equal to 2x over x plus 1 times x minus 1. Now we need to determine the restrictions. Well, the first denominator has x plus 1 equals 0, so solving for x is equal to negative 1. The second denominator, x minus 1 equals 0, so x is equal to negative 1. And when we factored that denominator, we can see that we end up getting the same x plus 1, x minus 1. So the restrictions are going to be negative 1 and positive 1. Now we need to ask ourselves, how many terms do we have? We have 3 terms. Then we define the LCD. We have x plus 1, x minus 1, x plus 1, and x minus 1. We can see that x plus 1 is already a factor of x plus 1 times x minus 1. We can see that x minus 1 is already a factor of x plus 1 times x minus 1. So therefore the LCD is x plus 1 times x minus 1. Number 5, we're going to multiply each term by the LCD. So we're going to rewrite the original, rewrite from the first step. So we have 2 over x plus 1 minus 1 over x minus 1, which is equal to 2x over x plus 1 times x minus 1. And what we're going to do is multiply each term by the LCD. So the LCD is x plus 1 times x minus 1 over 1. Now again, because of this type of question, you want to use brackets so that you can distinguish between parentheses and the brackets. Just makes it help you see it a little bit clearly when you need to simplify what we do in the next step. So the next step, x plus 1 and x plus 1 can be factored out. So what's left is 2 times x minus 1 minus x minus 1 and x minus 1 can be factored. So therefore 1 goes into x plus 1 times x plus 1 equals, well, x plus 1 and times x minus 1 can be simplified with x plus 1 times x minus 1, which means we have 2x times 1. Now we can go ahead and distribute, multiply. So 2 times x times 2 times minus 1 gives you 2x minus 1. Minus 1 times x, which is minus x, and minus 1 times 1 is negative 1, which is equal to 2x times 1, which is 2x. So when we simplify and combine like terms on the left side, 2x minus x gives you x, minus 2 minus 1 gives you minus 3, and that's equal to 2x. Combining x on the right side of the equation, if we subtract 1x to both sides, we end up with 2x minus x, which is x, which is equal to negative 3. So therefore the solution is negative 3 with the braces, and the excluded values are 1 and negative 1, and since we do have a solution, then this is a conditional state.